What's going on, everybody? American Football Network here with another video for you guys today. And today we're bringing you our college spread picks for week 7. But before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment those thoughts and opinions down below. Help me reach 1,100 subs by the end of October. Make sure you check out the description for links to our shop, podcast, website, and our college football roundup channel. Make sure you guys check all of that stuff out. Also, check out some of our game previews of the 3 big games coming up this week. Check all that stuff out. But let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So today we got, let me see here, 9 spread picks for you guys. Um, and not just spread picks. Most of them are spread picks, but we do have some over under, some player props, stuff like that. But let's go ahead and jump in. So our first pick, we got West Virginia versus Houston. West Virginia favored by 2.5 in this game. And I'm taking West Virginia to cover the 2.5. I mean, I think they probably win this game by a touchdown, which would cover. I think that they've looked very good, uh, as in terms of what people thought they were going to look like coming into the season. Houston has somewhat struggled so far in this season, so I'm thinking that West Virginia is probably going to win this game about 7 to 10 point win, and so that will have them covering that 2.5 spread. I think that's how they're gonna fare in that one. Um, so yeah, that one is minus 110 on the odds. So moving on to our next pick, we got Tulane versus Memphis. I've taken Tulane minus the 4.5 here. It gives you minus 110 odds on that one. I think that just Tulane is a better football team. I haven't been impressed by Memphis so far this season. They got whooped earlier in the year against Navy. That was a bad one. I think Tulane is going to cause similar problems like the Navy game. I just think Tulane is a better football team. I think they're the more dominant football team. I think they're the better coach team. And even though it is at Memphis, I still think at worst Tulane wins by about 7. So I think that they will cover the 4.5 points. Next up, we got Arkansas versus Alabama. Now, Alabama is favored by 19.5 in this game, but I'm going with Arkansas plus 19.5. I think Arkansas will cover the spread here, minus 110. Um, I just this pick to me was more not the fact that I trust Arkansas more, but the fact that I trust Alabama less. If that makes so, I guess technically I trust Arkansas more, but not. Let me word that better. Not that I trust Arkansas to cover the spread, but that my trust in Alabama is even less to cover the spread. I don't think Alabama can cover 19.5 against a solid Arkansas team who has a good offense and is going to put up some points, I would imagine. I think that Bama may win this game by like 17, but I don't think they're going to win it by 20. I just don't see that happening. I think Arkansas covers here. And it could even be on a late touchdown. Bama. That's another situation. Is I could see Bama up 24 later in the game, and Arkansas score a touchdown in garbage time, and that hurts the spread, and it keeps Bama from covering. So I kind of could see something like that playing out, but I just don't trust Bama to beat them by 20. Now we got Oregon and Washington, one of the biggest games of the week. Make sure you guys check out our preview of that game and our prediction for who we think is going to win. Here we got the over under of 67 points here, and I'm taking the under 67. I think that a lot of people are hyping this one up to be a big matchup, and I think excuse me, I'm taking the over 67. A lot of people been hyping this matchup up, and I think it's gonna I think that it's going to really just be everything that it has been hyped up to be. I think you have two great offenses colliding here in a top 10 matchup. I think some points are going to be put up on the board. Sorry, I don't know why I had under written down on my paper. I'm taking the over. My prediction in the video, I took Oregon to win it 41-38. So I mean obviously I think it's going over 67. I have it over 70. So I think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I think it's going to be a great one. I think both teams are going to have a hard time slowing each other down. Um, At the end of the day, I trust Oregon to get a stop to win the game. That's why I ultimately picked them. But I think this is going to be an amazing matchup, and I'm excited for it. And I think it goes over. Next up, we got Kansas versus Oklahoma State. Kansas is favored by 3.5 points in this game. I think they covers. Oklahoma State got smacked by South Alabama at home. They, I mean, they somehow pulled one off against Kansas State, but they just have not looked good at all this season. I think Kansas is rolling. I don't even know if they need Daniels or not in this game. I'm pretty sure he's back. I forgot to check that before I started the video. Um, I can go ahead and check it now, but I'm pretty sure he's back. And even if not, I think Bean's a good enough quarterback that they can beat um, they can beat Oklahoma State. Um, let's see here. Yeah, it says that he missed practice Monday. So we'll see. We'll see. Gundy says that Oklahoma State's preparing for Jason Bean to play quarterback for Kansas. So we'll see what happens with it. I don't think it matters either way. I think that even with Bean, Kansas at the least can win by 7 points. I don't think it's going to matter. I think that the offense is still very good. Bean is one of those quarterbacks. He's a very capable quarterback. What he lacks is the factor that Daniels has. He's not going to go out and win you a close game, but he's also not going to make the plays to lose you a game. And I think that against a team like Oklahoma State, that's all you need him to go out and do. He also is a very good runner with his legs, so the offense doesn't really change under Daniels. He's a solid passer. So I think Kansas covers the 3.5 regardless. Next up, we got Louisville and Pitt. Louisville is favored by 7.5. I've went kind of back and forth on this game, to be honest with you about it, because you got Louisville coming off the huge win against Notre Dame. What are those emotions like going up to Pitt? What is the team like going up to Pitt? But at the end of the day, Pitt is just awful. So I'm taking Louisville to cover the 7.5. Pitt is they're atrocious right now. They could be a little bit dangerous and keep this a closer game. But at the end of the game, I think Louisville wins this game by 10 or more. I just think Pitt's going to have a hard time stopping the explosiveness of that team. um, I just don't see that you got Gerard Jordan. I think he may very well run for 150 yards again this week and 2 or 3 touchdowns. He's just that good. Plummer's been a solid quarterback. He's been a very good kind of manager of the game. He hasn't made a whole lot of like huge plays to really win the game, but he's made all the plays he's needed to make, and he's kept his team in every game and just done his role perfectly. So I think Louisville beats Pitt here, and beats them by 7.5 and covers. Now back to the Oregon Washington game. In this one, we got Bo Nix over under 287.5 pass yards. I'm taking the over on that. I not because I think Oregon's going to be able to run the football in this game, but I also think they're going to get some huge plays through the air. I think that later in the football game, it's gonna they're gonna need Bo Nix to step up. Um, the game's gonna be close. They're gonna need Bo Nix to elevate his game and to throw the football, lead them down the field. So I think he hits 287.5, or I guess 288 would be the number there for his pass yards total. I think he goes over that, and I think that Oregon moves the ball very effectively through the air. On to the next game. We got USC versus Notre Dame here. Got another player bet. Got Sam Hartman over under 269.5 pass yards. I'm taking the under. They're just not going to throw the ball enough here. They're going to try and play, keep away and just try and run the football, milk the clock, short passes. I don't see him getting to 270. I think he could probably throw the ball 20, 25 times, but it's going to be just short underneath stuff. I don't see Notre Dame trying to push the ball down the field at all here. And if it gets to a situation where they're trying to push the ball down the field, then they're in some trouble, because that means that they're behind, and USC is just going to be able to drop back into coverage and know what's coming. Um, so I just don't see Hartman throwing the ball for more than that, and I also just don't think Notre Dame has the receivers for him to really throw for 270 yards in a big game like this. Um, without, because I think, again, like I said, I think Notre Dame's main thing in this game is going to be to try and run the ball and limit the amount of time that explosive USC offense has the football. And I think a big part of that is running it. Next up, back to Oregon and Washington for the last pick today, and we got Michael Penix over under 3.5 passing touchdowns. I'm taking the over at plus 120. Washington and Penix, they love to throw the football and air it out deep. I think that they're going to get some chunk plays and explosive plays in the passing game. They're a team that doesn't usually run the football either. They're only averaging, I think, about 120 rush yards. They're like 103rd in the country in rush yards a game, but they're averaging over 450 pass yards a game, which is, I believe, first in the NCAA. It's definitely top three. I believe it's actually first. So they're a team that likes to throw the football. I don't see them running it a whole lot. I see them getting some big pass plays, and I think Penix can get to four passing touchdowns here in this one. I think that it's going to be an offensive shootout, and I think that he could easily get there. Now, for the payout and the winning. So if I bet $20 on each pick, potential payout is $347.86, with my winnings being $167.86. So you guys might want to jump on some of those. Look at last week. We struggled last week, man. We went 2-5. I mean, everything kind of fell through for us. Clemson and Wake Forest didn't hit the over. Expected Clemson's offense to be better. Iowa beat Purdue and actually kind of stomped them. I thought Purdue would win that one. Georgia surprisingly killed Kentucky. Not a whole lot of people saw that one coming. Washington State blew it against UCLA, and Texas blew that game late against Oklahoma. But we did get LSU Missouri to hit the over 64.5, and we got UNC to cover against Syracuse minus 9.5. That one felt like a steal there. So 2-5 last week, hoping to improve that record this week. But that's going to wrap up today's video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment those thoughts and opinions down below. Appreciate all of you guys who have tuned in and all the support we've gotten recently. Hope to see you guys on some more videos, and hope you enjoy